Thank you for joining us at Cardinal Hayes High School, home of the Cardinals, and the number 2 player in America in the class of 2024, Ian Jackson. The Cardinals off to a disappointing 5-7 start, look to rebound against Monsignor Scanlan, who, led by star junior Nasir Rodriguez, have recorded a number of big wins this year and are looking for another one tonight. It's Crusaders against the Cardinals right now on the Varsity Media Sports Network. I'm Gavin Shaw here with you in the Bronx. Exciting affair. We've already seen 2 games. The freshman team, the sophomore team. 1 win for Scanlan, 1 win for Cardinal Hayes. So this is the tiebreaker, the most important one of the night. The Cardinals come into this game off a blowout loss against Zavarian Monsignor Scanlan. They've lost 2 in a row as well against St. Raymond, against St. Peter's. So a make-right game for one of these 2 programs, as we will get a chance in just a sec to look at our impact players. And for the Monsignor Scanlan Crusaders, who else could it be but Nasir Rodriguez, the 6'4" junior, averaging 19 points per game, is a dynamic inside-outside scorer. Head coach Dwayne Mitchell, who knows a thing or two about star guards. He coached Kemba Walker, wants him to attack the rim a little bit more, as Rodriguez already has D1 offers from George Mason, Drake, Northern Illinois, Manhattan, and a number of other schools. Someone who knows a little something about D1 offers is Cardinal Hayes, impact player, the number 2 player in America, according to ESPN, in the class of 2024. It is Ian Jackson, known as Captain Jack. He led Team USA to a gold medal at the FIBA World Cup Under-17 tournament this summer. Visited Arkansas this week, also has offers from Kentucky, LSU, Oregon, and North Carolina. A star in the making, trying to put together a season-defining performance, a season-defining stretch tonight for a Cardinal Hayes team that really needs the victory. And let's take a look at who they'll be competing against to get that victory. The Monsignor Scanlan starting lineup. At point guard, it's Kenneth Fields at the 2, Jaden Heel at the 3, Nasir Rodriguez at the 4, Cassius Paulin and Jabari Phillip, the big senior, starting at the forward spot. Phillip's been playing great basketball of late, an all-tournament team performer at the Desert Holiday Classic in Palm Springs, California, averaging 17 points per game. If Cardinal Hayes focuses too much on Rodriguez, he will certainly be a capable threat. A new game, a new starting lineup for Cardinal Hayes. It's been the story of the season for Joe Loads. They have worked and worked and worked to find the right group, the right chemistry, and playing some of the best teams in the country all year long. It has been a struggle, but they're hoping tonight's starters get them on track. Trey Lewis, just a freshman. Ian Jackson, of course. Tyleek Fields, Jaden Williams, 2 glue guys as seniors. And then, of course, big Steven Solano, a junior at 6'11", 240 pounds. He is an absolute force, still learning the game, but someone that Joe Loads is confident is going to be really, really good down the road. You'll note, missing from that starting lineup is Elijah Chapa Moore, who missed a day of practice this week, so that could potentially be the reason. We're not 100% sure if he's out for the game or just out of the starting lineup, but he is a top 75 recruit, according to some services, by his own right. So that would certainly be a significant loss if he's not playing tonight for Cardinal Hayes. So with 2 minutes until game time, we'll step aside. When we come back, opening tip-off, Cardinal Hayes, Monsignor Scanlan. It's a big one here in the Bronx.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
I said there are 2 things that you're going to be responsible for the rest of your life. And that's your physical health and your financial health.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST.
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
About to get underway here in Bronx, New York, and let's take a look at the CHSAA standings coming into this one. Archbishop Stepanak, the runners-up a year ago to Cardinal Hayes, lead the league, a 4-1 league record, a 7-4 overall record. St. Peter's, who lost to this Cardinal Hayes team in the opening game of the season, they've had an excellent run under a first-year head coach, 11-2, 4-2 in league play. Iona Prep, 8-4, 5-3. Cardinal Hayes in fourth. So they done very poorly out of league this year, but it makes sense when you look at the competition. Some of the teams that they've lost to, including Duncanville, a top 5 team in the country. Pinnacle in Arizona, losing to Christ the King, losing to Stepanak. So it makes sense that Cardinal Hayes just 5-7, and it was interesting getting to talk to Joe Lodes this week, where he said, you know, we lost so much off of last year's team, and there was this expectation that with Ian we were just going to reload, but people might be underestimating just how much they graduated. I mean, of course, the number one name in that capacity is Tobe Owaka, who was the New York State Gatorade Player of the Year last season, averaged 19 points, 14 rebounds per game, completely dominant. What was the difference when they played Stepanak in that championship, in that the Crusaders didn't have a star big that could match them. Also lost DJ Victory and Tariq Foster, so we'll step aside for the national anthem. When we come back, tip-off here at Cardinal Hayes.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
I said there are two things that you're going to be responsible for the rest of your life. And that's your physical health and your financial health.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Thunder, and what a look!
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Tip-off in just a minute as we get a look inside the Monsignor Scanlan huddle, led by head coach Dwayne Mitchell. In his 11th season at Monsignor, Scanlan has been around the Catholic League for right around 30 years. Started off at Nazareth High School before becoming a longtime assistant at the now closed Rice High School, where they were a nationally ranked team led by everyone's favorite New York basketball star, Kemba Walker. Won a legendary duel against Derrick Rose at the Garden, and then won a state title actually the year after Kemba graduated in 2009, led by former Miami Hurricane star Durant Scott. And this is a program that when Mitchell came in, they had won just 2 games in 2 years. First year there, he led them to the B Division New York State title in 2013 and the runner-up for the CHSAA title in the A Division in 2015. And now you're getting a look at Cardinal Hayes, led by head coach Joe Lodes in his 15th season running the Cardinals. It certainly doesn't feel that long, but this is a program that has been on the upswing since he took over. When he first came in, they hadn't won a title since 1999. They won one in 2017. They were in first place when the season ended in 2020, and then that run all culminated last year when they were ranked in the top 20 in the nation at points, finished the year 24th on USA Today's final poll, and won a New York State Catholic title over Stepinac, a 79-59 victory again. A whole lot to replace a team with immense talent, but not immense chemistry quite yet. And we are underway. It's Cardinal Hayes in the gold and maroon. It's Monsignor Scanlan in the North Carolina baby blue as Steven Solano starts this one with a big block, and trying to pay it off is Trey Lewis, the freshman, has the opening bucket with a little window shopping to start this ball game. And the Scanlan side trying to find rhythm early. Ball thrown up to Jackson, and he gets taken down by Kenneth Fields, the point man for Monsignor Scanlan. Joe Lodes said they're going to ramp up the press. That's something they started doing during the Christ the King game, but just trying anything and everything right now to get a rhythm, to get some confidence. So here's Jackson in the corner, swings it back up top to Williams. Now a touch for Fields. Jackson to a cutting Lewis, off on the rise and fire. Solano on the tie-up, and possession arrow is in favor of Cardinal Hayes, so they'll maintain possession. Will be inbounded by Jaden Williams. The senior wing averages 6 points per game. Lob play to Solano, who jams it down! The net is inverted and the crowd is bouncing. Caleb Polpot. That's what Steven Solano can do, but a quick answer on the fader comes from Nasir Rodriguez. That's what great players do. They have a real sense of the moment. And even though we're less than a minute into this game, it was essential for Scanlan to find an answer back. Crusaders 6-6 on the year. Jackson, a tough step back. Nylon on the shot. And an early timeout taken by Dwayne Mitchell and the Crusaders. As we get another look at that vicious dunk from Solano, coming up as if he was going to set a pick. Great screen by Jackson, and what a set from Joe Lodes. So no timeout for the Crusaders. We'll keep playing. Lob into Solano. He's doubled. Solano finds a cutter and denied at the rim by Cassius Paulin. Was Jaden Williams. Running it back the other way, Jaden Hill, and he's fouled. So that play was leveraging the attention the number 2 player in the country in Ian Jackson gets. He's cutting to the rim. The whole defense assumes the ball's going to him, and instead it's a diversion. Jackson is setting the screen. Solano is rolling to the rack. And you have maybe your play of the year in the Catholic League so far. Dior Anderson. Paulin. Anderson just a sophomore. Paulin will try from distance. Airmail. Back up and fouled on the inside is Jabari Phillip. He'll head to the foul line. Phillip averaging 17 points per game this year. We mentioned it in the pregame. An all-tournament team performer at the Desert Holiday Classic. That saw some really elite programs. Monsignor Scanlan went 3-1 on that trip. Talking to Dwayne Mitchell this week, he suggested that Phillip should eventually be a D1 recruit. Though can't convert at the line here. Rebound tipped around and going the way of the Cardinals. It'll be sent in by Trey Lewis. Jaden Williams harassed by Rodriguez, able to escape. Lining up the tray is Lewis. And off the foot of Paulin. Big concern in this one for Dwayne Mitchell is how Scanlan matches up from a size perspective. They're without 6'8" senior forward Jalen Logie, who averaged a double-double last season. Jackson will try his second tray. Not meant to be. And now Jackson gets the steal. This is where he's dangerous in transition. That burst to the rack. Acrobatic finish. And now Scanlan will take their first time out. We'll step aside as well. A 9-2 lead with 5:52 to go in the opening quarter. An electric start for Cardinal Hayes.
Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST.
Under, what a look.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
A raucous student section, as always, here at Cardinal Hayes High School. What makes Cardinal Hayes different is they're all out for the freshman game. It's not when Ian Jackson comes out and the lights come on. These guys are here for approximately 4 hours. It is incredible commitment, incredibly basketball-centric community. And they're out and running again. Jaden Williams, as that pass gets deflected by Rodriguez, a two-way player for the Crusaders. Rodriguez trying to get it out of his hands, finds Jaden Hill. 5-on-4 for Scanlan, at least for a second. Circling to the ball and having it knocked away was Rodriguez. Harassing defense by Jackson, who's clapping in his face. A lot of times you'll see top 5 recruits in the country, especially guys who aren't playing for national programs and don't play necessarily level competition on a game-to-game basis, which is a description Ian Jackson fits, and they can go a little lower effort on defense and it won't be noticeable. That is not Jackson. He is hyper competitive. So Adam Njai running the point, the transfer from Hillcrest Prep in Arizona. A talented ball handler. Still trying to figure it all out. Jackson forced the issue that time. Phillip, unselfish. Rodriguez contested, doesn't matter. Puts one in the eye of Tyleek Fields. And cuts the lead back to 4. Njai has the best handle on this Cardinal Hayes roster. Turnaround for Lewis. Rodriguez on the rebound. Oh, good look. Solano goaltended, so the basket for Jabari Phillip will count. And what a pass for Nasir Rodriguez, who is considered a score-first guy, but that's an aspect of his game that has certainly improved. As Trey Lewis will take a seat, and coming on in his stead is Elijah Chapa Moore. So we were a little surprised Moore, the top 75 recruit in the class of 2024, wasn't starting, but it looks like he is playing after missing a day of practice this week. Phillip breaks through the Cardinals' defense. Corner pop, rattles home. Nasir Rodriguez, 2 in a row. And a 1-point lead for Scanlan. Ian Jackson pressed by Paulin and loses it out of bounds. And our producer Chris Sweeney with the kick save. So timeout taken this time by Cardinal Hayes. With 3:49 to go in the first quarter, we'll keep it right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And let's get a look at the upcoming schedule for Monsignor Scanlan, the Crusaders. What a gauntlet. They play Iona Prep, who they lost to 66-60 earlier this season. And then we'll take on Cardinal Hayes in a rematch in just 8 days before playing Zavarian, the team that just knocked off Cardinal Hayes by 14 points. And then they travel to take on Archbishop Stepanak. So on paper, you look at Scanlan, you say, all right, they're 6-6. Certainly not in a bad position, but it feels like they have to go 2-3 in this stretch just for playoff positioning. So this all of a sudden becomes a pivotal game. And, Joe Lode said it coming into this one. Look, if we hold them to one shot, if we play disciplined, if we get out in transition, we'll win the game. If it's up and down, if it's kind of chaotic, we could be in trouble. Wide open tray, flanks, tapped out by Rodriguez. The miss was from Paulin. And possession back to Hayes. So Scanlan showing some pressure now. Similar to Cardinal Hayes, they will do a lot of different things defensively. Presses, traps, man, zone. Will do everything to keep you off balance. Into Solano. Solano doubled. He averages less than a point per game on the season and stepped out of balance there. It's hard to overemphasize how raw Solano is. A transfer from Donda Academy, but according to Joe Lodes, he is an absolute godsend. Works hard and gets better every single day, and already has extensive Power 5 interest despite being such a raw talent. And you saw why on that big dunk to open the game. Phillip will try from distance and bank one in. Who knows if it's intentional? Phillip, he's doing the cool guy jog back. Like, yeah, I tried to do that. Njai pressed. And stepping out of bounds as he touched it was Chapa Moore. First name's Elijah, but got that nickname from his older brothers, and it stuck. An absolutely elite gunner, as you will see in all likelihood over the course of the Sportscast. Reset up top to Paulin. And quick move, but missing the jam was Phillip. Didn't quite have the springs loaded. Jackson kick out. Njai can't pay it off. Solano on the tip. Collected in traffic by Rodriguez. Head down, momentum the other way. Rodriguez gets the teardrop to go. A quick 7 points for Nasir Rodriguez. Jackson on the dump off. Solano on the put in. Artful from Ian Jackson. Paulin. Slip. Pump and go. Patience for Phillip. Trying to draw the foul, and Solano was able to stay upright. It's a big part of his development. And Mel Thomas into the game, the freshman for Cardinal Hayes. 2 substitutions for the Monsignor Scanlan side, as well as Caleb Papote comes in, as does Kenneth Fields. Quick inbound to Paulin. Paulin trying to go over Solano. Solano picks up his second block. Magic Mel, as they call him. He is a phenom. Just trying to calm down and make the simple play. Jackson will ensure he does just that. Narrowing the deficit to just 1. Fields boasts a lot of speed. Popat to the rim. And another denial for Steven Solano. Pump from Magic Mel. Can't get the lay to go. Able to deflect it. Extra pass. Paying it off and one. Jabari Phillip back to the line. And seemingly a technical foul on the play as well. That looked like it went against Jabari Phillip. Maybe celebrating the call there. So let's take another look at it. Beauty of a bounce pass. Popati made the extra one. And then it was Phillip screaming in Solano's face after the bucket. Though a little bit of a soft call, that one. Came from official Ryan Welsh. Or excuse me, no, that was from Joe Carmacione. So Phillip gets the and one, and now will check out of the game following the technical. It didn't seem worthy of a technical. It wasn't directed at Solano. I don't think it was directed at Solano. But then again, we can't hear what he said from here. So 2 free throws for Choppa Moore. And he pays it off. Joe Lodes calls Choppa Moore the best shooter he has ever coached in his 15 years at Cardinal Hayes. A generational shooter was the descriptor. Njai. Now Moore. Quick move from Jackson into the heart of the defense. Lining it up and nailing the triple is Adam Njai, who averages 10 points per game, and throwing it away is Popati. Moore will bring it up against Rodriguez. Njai, late pass, right pass, but canceling it out with the big-time swat was Darren McFarland in off the bench for Monsignor Scanlan. Njai will send it in. Jackson dancing his way into another 3-ball, his third of the opening quarter. A much improved shooter this year, according to Joe Lodes. We're seeing it. Njai on the pickoff, athletic, but can't put it home. McFarland up ahead, meeting at the rim and winning the Battle of Titans is Kenneth Fields. Mel Thomas, 5 seconds on the clock, has to go to work. Thomas from distance, short. Putback attempt too late from Jordan Skyers. Wouldn't have counted regardless, though. A thrilling opening quarter here at Cardinal Hayes High School. The Cardinals lead it by 2 over the Crusaders. You're watching on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Second quarter about to get going here at Cardinal Hayes High School as the 6-8 Cardinals lead it by 2 over Monsignor Scanlan. Cardinal Hayes desperate for a win as they try to find their identity as a team. We were talking about it a little bit in this pregame, but the losses they had from last year's championship group, perhaps underrated because of the presence of Ian Jackson. We mentioned it's irreplaceable to lose your 6'8" New York State Player of the Year in Awaka, but it wasn't just Awaka. It was DJ Victory, who was the MVP of the CHSAA championship game. It was Tariq Foster, who's taking a post-grad year but is committed to VCU. Multiple D1 talents. As that ball's deflected away by Skyers, but then recovered, and another missed dunk for Monsignor Scanlan, the second of this one, this time from Darren McFarland. So it went off of the Crusaders, and Mel Thomas will bring it up. He missed a lot of time this year with a hip injury as he loses the ball on a slip. And that pass too far out in front of Popat. Lining it up. This time is Njai. Another three goes down. That's the 6th of the game for Cardinal Hayes. The team that has been very inconsistent from distance through 12 games. They are lighting it up so far tonight. Popat Fields from about 30 feet. He can make those. That one a little too far as McFarland corrals the board and is fouled. Dwayne Mitchell has been encouraging Kenneth Fields to utilize his speed to attack the basket more. They feel like he's settling too much, but that is a big theme in general on this Monsignor Scanlan team. Again, without their star forward in Jalen Logue, missing the whole year with a broken leg. They are trying to replace that size, and it's impossible. Fields on the steal. Putback attempt, no good for Rodriguez, but third try goes down. Chapa Moore calling out the set. Takes the pick from Solano, rise and fire, and rattles in another one. The Crusaders drowning in a hailstorm of triples. 4-point lead, but they keep finding answers as Paulin will get a chip to the charity stripe. Second foul against Trey Lewis, 15th foul against Cardinal Hayes. Cassius Paulin, a senior forward, averaging 9 points per game. Also an all-tournament team performer at the Desert Holiday Classic. An inside-out performer for Dwayne Mitchell's side. So 2 fouls against Trey Lewis, 2 fouls against Steven Solano, who's out of the game now but was in the midst of one of the best first quarters of his season. As Eric Fagan checks in for the first time, number 15 in baby blue for the Crusaders. Moore didn't get a clean catch off the handoff. Dancing with it is Njai. Jaden Williams pays it off. The Cardinals cannot miss, and yet they only lead by 6. Fields, ambitious pass. Rodriguez can't hit his third three, and Solano back into the game, grabbed it. Blocked from behind that time was Williams. Good bit of defending from Popet. Zip inside. Popat has his shot pinned by Solano. Running is Williams with company and a charge. Dwayne Mitchell's got to love that. Eric Fagan comes in off the bench. Oh no, it's a blocking foul. Excuse me. The attempt was good from Fagan, but he'll pick up his first foul. 4th team foul against Monsignor Scanlan. So an opportunity for an old-fashioned three-point play for Jaden Williams. An extended trapping zone look now for Hayes. Start, stop, and off the mark for Dior Anderson. Sophomore who's just getting healthy, but Scanlan is so high on his potential. Another three. Solano, wow. Able to find it. Fader in for Lewis. And another timeout called by Monsignor Scanlan as they face their biggest deficit of the night, trailing by 11 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
It's a game-high 11-point lead for Cardinal Hayes over Monsignor Scanlan here at Cardinal Hayes High School. It's been all about the three-point shooting for the Cardinals. A monster first quarter for Ian Jackson, who led the way after one with 11 points, and now his teammates are picking up. Elijah Moore has hit a three. Jaden Williams has hit a three. Mel Thomas has a triple in his own right. Steve Solano, this has to be in the mix for the best start he's had to a game as he continues to figure it out. Again, not much of a scorer yet, but such a presence around the rim on both ends of the court. And Joe Lode said one of the big keys to their defense is keeping him there at all times. That shot was off from Fagan. Pressure put on by Njai. Knocked out. And it'll stay with Cardinal Hayes. Mel Thomas back into the game as Adam Njai, after a solid stint, takes a seat. Jaden Williams also to the bench for Cardinal Hayes as Trey Lewis comes back on. Around a curl, it's Moore, airmail. You rarely see that. Fagan. Moore the other way. Lefty lay. Risky pass. Picked off. Unselfish from Thomas. And another easy two for Moore. Just like that, the lead is ballooned to 15. And now another steal for Thomas. Thomas can't hit. It feels like this Cardinal Hayes team is starting to find themselves. They lead it by 15 points. And Monsignor Scanlan, they're just sloppy right now offensively. We saw them really working the ball around well early in this game, and it certainly paid off that Nasir Rodriguez was able to hit a couple threes. Rodriguez had 10 points in the first quarter and is just looking for some help. Jacob Phillip provided it early with 7, but no one else has found a rhythm yet for Monsignor Scanlan, and we keep referencing it, but that's where Logue is such a big loss, because having that size allowed them to, one, gain extra possessions offensively, but perhaps even more importantly, prevent extra possessions on the other way. And now you go up against someone like Steven Solano, who's 6'11", and they're not all going to be counted as rebounds, but the number of tips, the pressure he puts around the rim that leads to balls ending up out of bounds and back with Cardinal Hayes. He's just creating extra possession after extra possession, because Scanlan doesn't have the size to match up. Little post touch and good work from the elbow that time for Phillip to get back to the line. As that call was made by Ryan Welsh, our third official, who has yet to go mention is Dave Roth, all doing a good job so far. Phillip has struggled so far from the free throw line. Really interesting player. 6'4", but plays like a big man. Can shoot from 3, can shoot from mid-range, but does his best work inside. And has the lead back down to 14 points. Moore calling for a screen on his left side. Captain Jack to the rack, too much speed, but no lay. Diving on a near steal was Lewis. Rodriguez out of the pack, a scoop, a give off, and the put in for Paulin. But an offensive foul against Rodriguez, who was out of control. And Joe Loads has been calling for that from his squad. He said they've been practicing charges daily. It hasn't translated to the game yet. That time it does, as Nasir Rodriguez gets some instruction from the Scanlan coaching staff. And let's take a look at what's to come on the Varsity Media Sports Network. St. Francis, who's playing exceptionally well, will take on Archbishop Stepanak January 17th on the Varsity Media Sports Network. So that game coming up next Tuesday. And you're going to want to watch it. The leader in the AA New York division in the Catholic League will take on one of the best in the Brooklyn Queens division. St. Francis, the defending champions of the Brooklyn Queens division, made the Final Four a year ago before, I believe, falling to Stepanak. They might have been on the other side of the bracket. Yeah, they lost to Stepanak last year, so that'll be a great rematch as they stand at 7-3 this season. Thomas, that was a dime. Jackson caught up underneath. Start, stop, extra pass. Thomas quick to the rim, denied from behind, but fouled by Phillip. And this is exactly what Joe Load wanted out of Mel Thomas. Joe Load saying he has a super IQ, comparing his basketball intelligence to current Golden State Warrior Ty Jerome, who attended Iona Prep but played for the PSA Cardinals, which AAU team, which, as you can guess, features a lot of players from Cardinal Hayes. As Jordan Skyers, the freshman, comes in for his fellow freshman, Trey Lewis. Skyers, a heck of an athlete, already able to finish above the rim. As Thomas banks those free throws, and the lead to 16, applies some pressure. And Paulin off on the inbounds pass intended for Fields. Possession back to Hayes. But the point I was making on Thomas is he is playing so under control, has a propensity for the spectacular, but all Joe Loads wants is a simple play, and that was the beauty of a back cut and a great finish as well from Jordan Skyers. And now Skyers commits the foul in the backcourt. As you can see, the preemptive frustration for Jaden Hill, and he thought for a moment it might have been another turnover. So this game was 22-20 at the end of the first quarter. It's been a 22-4 run for Cardinal Hayes over the first 5 minutes and 15 seconds of the second half. And this is the potential of this group. And again, you look at Cardinal Hayes' schedule, you see the frustration, but you also see the promise. And we should note on that foul, Monsignor Scanlan into the single bonus. So a 1-and-1 situation here for Hill. Made the first to earn the second. But look, Cardinal Hayes, their losses on the year, they haven't come against no one. Losing to Christ the King, losing to Duncanville, as we know, the top 5 team in the country. These are elite programs that a young team was struggling to face. And you see how good things can look when they're clicking for the Cardinals, as Tyleek Fields gets that layup to drop. Navion Legree. Rodriguez, acrobatic. That's the beauty of Rodriguez's game. A knockdown shooter, but has great body control inside as well. And a soft touch carries over. No answer from Moore, but gets his own rebound. Over-ambitious pass. You can see the Cardinal Hayes bench saying, hey, there's no need to do that if you're Elijah Moore. This coaching staff has been tough on Moore as they continue to look from him to expand his game as an elite shooter to something more, and Thomas committed the foul that time. Jaden Hill back to the line for 1-and-1. So Adam Njai will replace Thomas after a good stint from Thomas. Drew a fist bump from Joe Lodes. So Hill back to the line. Hill averaging just 1.5 points per game this year, but more of a defensive specialist. Comes in to lock up the star point guard on the other side for Cardinal Hayes, whether that's Adam Njai or Mel Thomas. As Solano comes back on. Hill making hay at the line. Can cut it to 14 with a make here, and he does just that. So this is a crucial sequence for Monsignor Scanlan. It feels very different if it's a 10-point game at half versus a 20-point game at half. Both are options with less than 2 minutes to go until the break. Njai navigating his way to the rack. The best ball handler on this roster, and a press from Cardinal Hayes broken by Hill. Nice job creating the wide open tray, and it's all nylon for Legree, a sophomore whose upside this Monsignor Scanlan coaching staff really likes. So 1:35 to go until halftime. The lead down to 13. Can Monsignor Scanlan cut it closer? We'll find out in just a sec on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
I said there are two things that you're going to be responsible for the rest of your life. And that's your physical health and your financial health.
.point ball game, 95 seconds left. Again, it was just a 2-point game after one quarter. Cardinal Hayes led by as many as 20. Jackson is yet to score in this second quarter. Might have had one layup. Off-ball foul goes against the Crusaders. And it will send Solano to the line for a 1-and-1 as Cardinal Hayes is in the single bonus. Solano nails the first to earn the second. Might have gotten a second one anyways, as it looked like that was a lane violation on Legree. Solano, you see the offers including Georgia Tech, Nebraska, Fordham, and Bryant. Recently added South Carolina as well. Hill nearly lost it, but what a dime! As he sets up a wide open lay to Giovanni Fabri. Jackson zigzagging, had it poked away by Fields, who hurt his arm in the process. Looked like he really hurt his shoulder, immediately went to grab it. So he'll go to get looked at immediately as Fields just collided with Jackson, and I think they're trying to see if his shoulder popped out of place. A nasty injury. To add an insult to it, it's Hayes basketball. Njai on the inside out move, denied. Legree got up, and now he gets the payoff on the little drop-off from Fabry. 11-point game. A quiet second quarter for Jackson. Can he end it with a bang? Shot clock turned off. Jackson holded the ball, hounded by Rodriguez. 5 seconds now. Jackson goes to work. Late kick. Njai short. Rodriguez on the Hail Mary, and it's a 50-39 lead for Cardinal Hayes over Monsignor Scanlan at the end of 2 quarters of play. A 22-20 lead after 1, so it's a 28-19 second quarter for Cardinal Hayes. And we will step aside for half. Cardinal Hayes looking to get back on the winning track when we return.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
I said there are 2 things that you're going to be responsible for the rest of your life. And that's your physical health and your financial health.
Hi, I'm Gene Sterator, CBS Rules Analyst and longtime sports official. For the adults watching this video, you grew up in a world where officials, umpires, and referees for youth sports took their place regularly and reliably ahead of game time. Today, unfortunately, it's getting harder and harder to fill those jobs. Videos showing abusive treatment of officials multiply on social media, and there have been consequences for the dreadful behavior of players, fans, and coaches. Massive shortages of officials now lead to games being canceled, and the positive effects of athletic competition are at critical risk for this generation and those to come. I'm hoping we all can begin to see youth competition through a different lens. Today, mistreatment of officials has become normalized, and we are facing an abnormal future where no officials to hire means no games on the schedule.
Any call, any decision, any human effect on wins and losses has become subject to not just withering criticism, but physical threats. There's a vicious cycle at work. Fans chase away officials, and there is a smaller pool to draw from, which makes it harder to get quality, well-trained people in position. The entire game suffers.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines? This sort of verbal abuse and threatening behavior takes a toll on all officials and makes them leave the game altogether.
Did you know, from 2018 to 2022, an estimated 50,000 high school referees, roughly 20%, have quit. Half of the remaining referee population is at least 50 years old, but young officials are rarely staying more than 3 years in the job.
If the number of officials working contests in all sports doesn't begin to increase, there won't be enough officials to work the games. That means schedules will get cut, teams or even sports might get canceled. In many states, this is already happening.
Remember that officials are invested in what they do. Many officials have regular, full-time jobs, and they're sacrificing time away from their families. Try to demonstrate empathy. Put yourself in their position. Think how you would feel about getting yelled at throughout your workday.
Yelling and arguing with officials sends the wrong message to young players. According to Play by the Rules Sports Advocacy, it teaches them that it's not okay to make a mistake. They can blame others for their actions. They can disrespect authority figures. And it's okay to be rude and selfish.
You know, officials enforce rules, keep competitions fair, and make player safety a priority, allowing youth sports to be a valuable arena for growth. If we can all just work together and be more empathetic to not just the officials, but everyone else in youth and high school sports, we can then preserve what many of us have embraced about athletics. And you and I know the benefits of sports, right? Let's spread that gratitude and be proud of what we can build and not blind to how it's being torn down. Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
So what happens now? Your response in the heat of the moment is the only thing you totally control, and we have an experiment for you to try. Simply stated, just cheer for your child or the team you're there to support. Move that desire to lash out to a different place and encourage without rage. Your child's sporting memory should be about how you helped inspire and not about how you caused embarrassment.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
I said there are two things that you're going to be responsible for the rest of your life. And that's your physical health and your financial health.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Second half about to get underway as you're watching Catholic League basketball on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Gavin Shaw here with you from Cardinal Hayes High School. A 50-39 lead, as you can see, for the Cardinals over the Crusaders. Our leading scorers in the first half, about who you would expect. Nasir Rodriguez with 12 for Monsignor Scanlan, but it's worth noting that the majority of those 10 came in the first quarter. And then Elijah Moore and Ian Jackson balancing each other out. Jackson, the number 2 recruit in the class of 2024. Moore, the top 100 recruit in the class of 2024. Jackson scored all 10 of his points in the first quarter. Moore had just 2 in the first quarter coming off the bench, and then got hot, hit 2 threes, had 12 in the second quarter. As far as foul trouble goes, the only major concern on either side is for the Crusaders of Monsignor Scanlan, and we are going to have ourselves a pre-second half interview with Joe Lodes. How lucky are we? Coach, what was the difference for you guys in that second quarter after a close first? You guys started off the second on I think it was a 20-6 run.
Yeah, I thought we shared the ball pretty well. We made a couple shots. All coaching looks better when the shots are going in. Made me look like I know what I'm doing. So we played with energy. We're sharing the ball. We're making shots. We got a little lethargic at the end, a little careless at the end, and turned the ball over a little bit. But hopefully we can keep it going.
All right, I'll let you get back. An 11-point lead for Cardinal Hayes.
Hopefully we can hang on.
Yeah,
prevent defense. It's NFL Sunday.
We'll find out.
Take care, guys.
They're going to keep 4 guys in the backcourt for the rest of this one. Joe Lodes, always a character, always a gem. Apparently on our last broadcast, he asked Dylan Butler what the score of the Jets game was at halftime. So he is locked in. He is a championship coach, but he likes to have a little fun as well. So Cardinal Hayes ball to start the second half. Elijah Moore. And now it's Trey Lewis. Jackson using the Solano screen. And trying to find Solano was Lewis. A tie-up, and this time possession arrow will favor Monsignor Scanlan, who had a crucial stretch to end that second quarter. We're really struggling, down by 20. It looked like this game was going to get completely out of hand. And slowly but surely they worked their way back to keep it close. Legree can't hit. Jackson! The one-handed flush! Plus the foul. Statue of Liberty dunk for Captain Jack. Does it count? It's up on the scoreboard, and it will be for an and one. One more look at it. Jackson, no one was contesting that. It was a dangerous play as Jabari Phillip tripped, trying to go after him and then just ducking out of the way. So points 11 and 12. Very loud for Ian Jackson. And make it 13 with the and one. A 14-point lead for Cardinal Hayes. As that pass from Paulin goes off a knee. And it'll be an inbound for the Crusaders. Jaden Hill protruding his way into the defense. That sounded more painful than I intended. Jackson feeling himself a little now. Ball popping around for Cardinal Hayes. This is the type of movement that Joe Lodes has called for all season. They've been relatively stagnant in offense. It's been one guy dribbling, 4 guys watching, kind of like that, as Jackson can't hit. But certainly better this game than it has been, and the defense has made a heck of a difference as well. Trey Lewis, but Jackson gives it right back. Lob pass inside. 2 Crusaders there, and Rodriguez gets a somewhat generous call as Jaden Williams picks up the foul. First foul of the game for Jaden Williams. So we noted a whole lot of college interest for Nasir Rodriguez, 6'4", just a junior. Offers include George Mason, Drake, Manhattan, Stony Brook, Northern Illinois. Super competitive player, but also an ace student. And it was funny talking to Dwayne Mitchell this week. He's saying, it could be a gift and a curse, but sometimes he thinks he's smarter than the coach. Moore using the Williams screen as he's hounded by Fabry. Rodriguez, good defense on Jackson. Solano forces the officials to make a call. He's being guarded by Paulin, who's giving up 7 inches in that matchup. We've said it a couple times, we'll keep saying it. It cannot be overstated how big a loss 6'8" senior forward Jaden Logue was, a Division I prospect, broke his leg, and is out for the year. As the injuries continue to compound for Scanlan, we mentioned it, Kenneth Fields, it looked like he hurt his shoulder to end the first half, still getting checked out by the trainers on the far side of the Scanlan bench. So without their center and without their star point guard now is Monsignor Scanlan, and just trying to find a way. The quote from Dwayne Mitchell was, "We have to hop off the seesaw at some point." He's looking for some consistency from their squad. They had that great trip to Palm Springs, went 3-1 in the Desert Holiday Classic, got a bunch of big wins against a couple of premier West Coast programs, and haven't been able to build off it since coming home. And Solano deterring them from building anything as he was hounding Paulin, but great second and third effort from Rodriguez, who will head back to the line now. Rodriguez up to a game-high 13 points for the Crusaders. Dior Anderson, the sophomore, averaging 4 points per game, already has offers from Stony Brook and Robert Morris back onto the court. Jaden Williams calling out the play. Apparently it's Ohio. You're watching Ohio right now. Foul off the ball. Goes against Fabry. As it looks like Kenneth Fields is off the training table and back to the bench. So hopefully he's all right to come back into this game, or at least healthy going forward. Trey Lewis, pull up pop, all net. Rodriguez seeing 3 defenders now whenever he touches the ball. Solano is extending out in the middle of that zone. He'll fire anyways. Corralled by Lewis. Solano helping to break the press. Captain Jack, no look pass. Layup bungled by Williams. Hezzy not getting the roll was Rodriguez. Back the other way, Lewis, Euro step. Give him a passport. Back-to-back buckets for Trey Lewis, the freshman. And the advantage back up to 15 points. With 4:45 to go in the quarter, Cardinal Hayes in control on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
I said there are 2 things that you're going to be responsible for the rest of your life. And that's your physical health and your financial health.
So a correction on Kenneth Fields, not on the bench, instead was taking to the locker room, so safe to assume he is out for the game. And again, he provides so much for this Monsignor Scanlan team. Fastest player on the roster, has the best handle, range from 20 plus, and take some of the attention, some of the pressure off of Rodriguez and Phillip. And that's why you're seeing Cardinal Hayes comfortable with tilting their zone so heavily towards the Crusaders stars, extending their defense out and putting 2 guys with help being shown towards Rodriguez. As Rodriguez will touch here, and the trap will come immediately. And someone else for this group of Scanlan boys will have to step up. As Fabry can't corral the backdoor lob. Fabry setting a back screen, then popping out. Rodriguez attacking against 3 defenders, doesn't matter. Give him an opportunity for 3 points. Decisive action from Nasir Rodriguez. Let's take another look. One-on-one with Solano. Low man wins. You can see the bend that Rodriguez gets on those drives. That kind of flexibility is what makes a dynamic rim attacker. So Rodriguez completes the 3-point play. And he has all the points in the second half for Monsignor Scanlan. He's up to 18 on the night. But again, the Crusaders desperately need someone else to contribute. Now a player being helped off for Cardinal Hayes is Trey Lewis. So injuries on both sides as Lewis took a hard hit now. Lewis, a freshman wing. Dubbed the best of the freshmen so far by Joe Lodes, has just fit in seamlessly with this group because he hasn't tried to do too much this year. Just has a great motor and provides a spark. So just like with Kenneth Fields, you hope that it's nothing serious for Trey Lewis. He's having himself another good outing. Jackson doing it himself. Solano catches the air ball. Easy work for Steven Solano. 7 inches taller than anyone on the court and playing like it. Paulin on the step back. Solano eating it up for the moment and then regurgitating. And possession will go to Cardinal Hayes regardless as it was knocked out of his hands. Catch on the run for Moore. Njai bends the corner. Swing, swing. Moore, bullseye. Chapa draining from range. He's up to 15, matching his season average. And Solano sends it to a different area code. No luck for Popate on the take. The sophomore Popate, already the best passer on this Monsignor Scanlan team, even if he doesn't provide quite the scoring pop that Fields does at the point guard spot. Rodriguez from NBA range. Bounded Anderson, the hezzy, and one for Dior Anderson. So Dior Anderson had a heck of an offseason, dominated the AAU circuit, and then got sick just before the season started, and took him a long time to recover and get back to 100%. Was playing, but wasn't quite himself. And just now you're starting to see what makes him so good as Popate gets the rebound. A 4-point possession. Moore charging the other way. Quick trigger 3, and probably not the shot that Joe Lodes wanted there. You can see him rubbing his head. Popate from the wing, 7 straight points in under 6 seconds for Monsignor Scanlan. The lead is back down to 10. All the momentum is with the Crusaders, and Cardinal Hayes has to take a TO. So an ill-advised shot for Moore. Paulin getting into the heart of the defense, and Popate said, I'll rack him up. 1, 2, 3, and the lead back to 10. And a look at our next sportscast. It's Archbishop Stepinac taking on St. Francis Prep, so a rematch of last season's Catholic League semifinal game at the AA level against St. Francis Prep, winners of the Brooklyn Queens division a year ago. And playing some great ball again this season. We got to watch them in their opening Catholic League game at home this season, knocking off Bishop Lachlan. So a little life for Monsignor Scanlan as they got off to a slow start in the second half again, without their point guard in Kenneth Fields, without their star forward in Jalen Logue, but they continue to fight, continue to find a way to stay in this game. Njai, fancy handle, but recovering for the swat was number 24, Darren McFarland. Good offense, better defense. Kick wide. Rim run for Fields. Solano stripped. Quick hands from Paulin. Rodriguez pump and harangued. So he'll get 2 free throws. Chance to make it a 9-0 run for Scanlan. And already the 5th team foul against Cardinal Hayes, so 2 more. And the Crusaders will be shooting free throws the rest of the way. If Rodriguez hits the second, he'll have a chance to match his season average of 19 points per game. It's been Jaden Williams who's led them in scoring the last couple of games, but Rodriguez, the alpha, the omega for this team, but can't convert from the line. Jackson got that big dunk to open the second half, but hasn't scored since. Solano diving, McFarland deflected the pass and stolen by Rodriguez. Popati. Oh, and 1. Get big, says Darren McFarland. What a dime from Popate with the left hand, and getting a piece of it was Tyleek Fields, but continuing to rise and finish was McFarland. McFarland averaging just 2 points per game this year, little used, but with the injuries getting some time, and it's now a 9-0 run for Monsignor Scanlan. Njai, ring him up. 3 more for the junior point guard. As talented as any player on this roster, according to Joe Loads. That is saying something when you have the number 2 player in America on your team. Ambitious attempt for McFarland. Paulin was trapped, able to get it out. Popate, a 3rd try, losing the basketball. Popate fighting for it, recovering, knocked out of balance off of Elijah Moore. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th efforts from Caleb Popate, who's doing yeoman's work in replacing Kenneth Fields. Jaden Williams will give Moore a breath of fresh air. Fields, the senior, heading to Lincoln College. Dives for loose balls, takes charges, just tends to make winning plays. Long two collected by Solano. Quick outlet to Jackson. For a relatively raw big, I'm really impressed with Solano's outlet passing. Eyes go up quick, keeps the ball high, and it's something you'll hear from coaches a lot with underdeveloped, very large human beings, that it's often best that they have no bad habits. You get to teach them good ones. Njai. And nearly losing it is Fields. Just able to get it back. And a slip pass, Solano misses the jam. Right back to Njai. Njai creating some magic. We haven't seen Mel Thomas in the second half after he was so good in the first. Williams. Njai from Arizona. Second try for Williams. Bouncing around, and the wingspan of Rodriguez had it for a moment. Instead, it's Jackson who passed it to Njai, who was standing out of bounds. Joe Load saying, hey, I was right here. I saw it. I promise I'm not biased. As he's in quite the debate here with Ryan Welsh, and it's one Ryan Welsh is going to win. Joe Load's negotiating, not going to get far, but you kind of smile out of Ryan Welsh. Pull-up pop to wrap up the quarter, and it remains an 11-point game for Cardinal Hayes, but a positive note to end on for Monsignor Scanlan, a 9-2 run. We'll see if they can continue the momentum into the fourth next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST.
Under, and what a look.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
1 minute until the start of the fourth quarter here in the Bronx. Just a stop away from Yankee Stadium, and if you haven't already, I don't know why you would, because it would be insane, but remember to subscribe at youtube.com/varsitymedia, or if you're watching full screen right now, all you got to do is click the little escape button on your computer, scroll down to the bottom right under the little screen, and there'll be a subscription button there, and you can follow us on all forms of social media, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Maybe a TikTok to come in the future. Who knows? We're hearing rumors we'll get our producer Chris Sweeney's band playing live on one of those forms of social media at some point. Just a rumor. Anyways, 65-54 ball game in favor of Cardinal Hayes. Adam Njai ended the third quarter at the point guard spot, starting the fourth. And an official's timeout as Ryan Welsh. The band is named Carve Your Niche. Some people would say niche. I would say niche. Chris is one of those people, apparently. It's niche. Carve Your Niche. 65-54 ball game, 7:54 to go in the fourth. Some music for you to check out, either in a celebratory fashion or in a depressed fashion, depending on which team you're rooting for after the game. Njai on the start and stop. Hook pass to the corner. Extra look to Thomas. Thomas across, and a triple goes down. Mel Thomas has done nothing but good things off the bench for this Cardinal Hayes team, and now Njai picks him up with a steal. Njai coast-to-coast Euro step and a banker. 5 quick points in 32 seconds to open the fourth quarter. Popate. Return to sender, says Tyleek Fields. Jaden Hill on for Popate, who certainly gave the Crusaders a spark in the third quarter. Rodriguez just told Captain Jack to hit the weight room. So he's up to 20 points now as Nasir Rodriguez. Will it be enough? Thomas going to work on Hill, who's a fantastic defender. Thomas, one-on-one, forced it up. And those are the types of plays that Joe Lodes doesn't want to see, but making up for it is Fields, his second straight block. Captain Jack on the other end of it. Coast-to-coast basketball for Cardinal Hayes. Hill dealing with the unrelenting pressure of Williams. And fouling off the ball was Mel Thomas. The Instagram sensation cannot believe it. You can look, he has a lot of followers. So Hill will inbound. And time is getting a little short for the Crusaders. 6 minutes, 34 seconds to go. 16-point deficit. The good news is that foul put them into the single bonus. So it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Darren McFarland, who had that great put-in right at the rim in the third quarter. Needs to make the first to earn the second, and a soft touch for Darren McFarland. We showed you the schedule a little earlier. Perhaps we'll show it again at the end of the game, but the Crusaders have a heck of a stretch coming up. Iona Prep. Then they have to play Cardinal Hayes again. Then they get Archbishop Stepanak. It's a murderer's row. And the fear right now, if you're Dwayne Mitchell, is that whatever happened to Kenneth Field's shoulder could keep him out for an extended period of time, and you'll be without your star point guard. So a lane violation will make it inbounds for Cardinal Hayes. Jackson and Jai. That's more of the one-on-one play that Lodes doesn't want, and you could see his face turning a Tom Coughlin shade of tomato red. Jackson rattles one home. That one acceptable to Joe Lodes. And Tyleek Fields picking up the assist. Big Giants playoff game this weekend for anyone who cares about that. Oh, what an artful drive from Giovanni Fabri for his first points of this second half. That was graceful. Thomas nearly lost it, but able to hold on to the ball. Drawing oohs and ahs from the crowd. Jackson will head to the line. Hoping for points. 16 and 17 is Ian Jackson. Ian Jackson obviously has college attention from all over the country. On our last broadcast of Cardinal Hayes basketball, he had John Calipari in attendance, and Kentucky's struggling right now. They could use Ian Jackson, but man, he has plenty of good options. Kansas State, LSU, Syracuse, and as we noted, just got an offer from Eric Musselman in Arkansas, who brought in a top 5 recruiting class last time out, and they have ambitions of grandeur, trying to lure Jackson to Fayetteville. But again, he visited this week, so who knows? Fabri losing his footing, tie up, and Jaden Williams was the man who scooped it up. Jackson, he wants to win this duel with Rodriguez. What a golden opportunity for Rodriguez. Every college in the country watching how he does against Jackson. Maybe that's a slight exaggeration, but he's played excellent defense on Captain Jack all night long, outscoring the Cardinal Hayes star. Rodriguez was looking for it on the give and go, but not enough room. Lining up the tray, McFarland overcooked it. Moore had a very quiet third quarter, just 3 points. Lining it up is Williams. Ring him up for Jaden Williams. A second half high 19-point lead. So look at what Moore does, right? That steady change of pace, hook pass back. Williams wide open, paying it off. And that's what Cardinal Hayes wants out of Elijah Moore. Joe Loads described him as one-dimensional right now. And that one dimension is super, super elite, to the point that he is a near consensus top 100 player in America, to the point that he is a Final Five that consists of some of the best programs in the country, in top 5 Alabama, in Arkansas, and Miami, and Oklahoma State, and Syracuse. And yet he doesn't have a lot of variety in his game, but he showed some there. That was expert ball handling, an innate sense of pace and when to speed up, and just pure manipulation, right? That is next level passing. It's one thing to be able to hit the open player. It's another thing to dictate your movement so someone comes open and then hit them with an on-time, on-target pass, and able to leverage it was Jaden Williams. Beautiful basketball from Elijah Moore. Operating high post and nearly having it stripped again was Fabry. Fabry hounded Rodriguez. Good idea on the pass. Instead gets it right back and gets to the rim. Rodriguez, a great sense of improvisation. His first move didn't work out. Proactive in drawing the foul. So third foul against Ian Jackson. Shouldn't be a significant factor, but something to watch with 4 minutes to go. 21 points on the night for Rodriguez. As Popate will come back into the game, as will Kawan Kearney. As Dwayne Mitchell is just looking for answers right now. 22 for Rodriguez. 17-point ball game. Less than 4 minutes to go in regulation. Wide open is Moore. Way to create a second possession from Williams. We'll slow things down. That is Williams' roll to a T. His brother, a former star quarterback for Stepinac High School. And you can certainly see the family resemblance just in terms of Jaden Williams' court sense. Or excuse me, in Tyleek Field's court sense. Magic Mel, let's see it. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Instead, the simple play. Fields pays it off. Ripping the cords from distance. Back down low. Patience plus the harm for Jabari Phillip, who's had a quiet second half, contained by the size of Christ the King. As Tyleek Fields picks up the foul, Steven Solano will come back on. And Monsignor Scanlan just one away from the double bonus. Jackson nearly having his pocket pick. Part of his game that he's still working on, tightening up that handle. Bullies his way to the rim, has it stripped. Lob inside. Jackson soft touch. The jumping, catching, and finishing certainly doesn't need any work for Captain Jack. Rodriguez laying his body on the line over and over and over again. Took a hard spill that time. Little shaken up. but we'll head to the line again. It's been that kind of evening for Monsignor Scanlan. Lots of bumps and bruises coming out of this one. As Rodriguez will tough it out and stay in the ball game. So a couple of substitutions for Cardinal Hayes. Jordan Skyers will come back in, and for the first time in this one, we'll see Owen Zabel, a freshman out of Connecticut. Deep bench, typically does not get in, but has a lot of promise according to Joe Lodes. Just has to be patient in finding his opportunity. Mel Thomas, too much heat on that one. Rodriguez with the freshman Zabel on him. Rodriguez way too big. Easy work to the rim. Pressure on. And two freshmen in the backcourt to break it. Rodriguez gets it right back. Plus the harm with the foul on Zabel, and Zabel's stint might be short, as it looked like the night was over for Ian Jackson, Adam Njai, and Tyleek Fields. But the combo of the two freshmen, Mel Thomas and Owen Zabel, not able to handle Nasir Rodriguez, who will head to the line looking for his 27th point when we come back. It's been an outstanding performance. It's been a much-needed one for Monsignor Scanlan.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
.2:18 to go, the lead back to 15. Rodriguez, an opportunity to make it 14. As Joe Lodes is ready to call it a night, go into a prevent defense, as he said at halftime, and Nasir Rodriguez said, you're not throwing freshmen against me without paying for it. And Lodes will appreciate that. Njai had the open three. Smartly decides to just pull it out, drain some clock. Now Njai can go to work into the corner. Attack for Williams. Successful possession for Cardinal Hayes, using all of the shot clock. Rodriguez, pull up, pop, can't connect. And that should just about do it for this one with 90 seconds to go. Jackson, how good is this crowd? 15-point game, it's essentially over. You get oohs and ahs at every crossover. Njai needs to just fire and didn't touch rim, so a shot clock violation. And Lodes not going to give his freshman another opportunity. Learning experiences for the youth of Cardinal Hayes. Triple goes down for Popate. If there's a silver lining to come out of this one for the Crusaders, it was the play of Popate. The backup point guard, the youngster, just a sophomore, who's made sophomore mistakes while showing great flashes this year. Put together one of his better performances of this season. Jackson, a freshman-esque mistake there. Rodriguez, why not? Rips the cords, 9-point game with 17 seconds to go. And 3 threes away from tying it up. Monsignor Scanlan will just try and get Cardinal Hayes to the line. Still have one more to put the Cardinals in the single bonus. And a little slow to foul. 4 seconds come off the clock, so Jackson will go to the line for a 1-and-1. This was a 20-point game about 2 minutes and 20 seconds ago. Lead all the way down to 9. 13 seconds left doesn't seem like enough time, but crazier things have happened. Jackson will seemingly put that to bed. Jackson had his coming out party last year at the Hoop Hall Classic in Springfield, Massachusetts. 30 points on 4 for 7 shooting from 3. Outstanding dunk. And he'll head back there for Cardinal Hayes' next game as they return to that Hoop Hall stage over the weekend. A trip to Springfield, Massachusetts to come, and a win as they head into that big road trip. 85-74 for the Cardinal Hayes Cardinals over the Monsignor Scanlan Crusaders. And the Crusaders have to hope Kenneth Fields is all right, and they have to get right as a team as the toughest stretch of their season is coming up. We'll step aside and we'll be back with our player of the game on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
I said there are 2 things that you're going to be responsible for the rest of your life. And that's your physical health and your financial health.
So here for our post-game interview with our player of the game, it is junior center Steve Solano. And Steve, I got to ask, what worked for you on that big dunk to open the game? And that was crazy, kind of got the whole crowd going.
I mean, it's a play we always run in practice. Other team, unfortunately, they got it against us, so we decided to implement that into one of our out-of-bounds plays, and we set them up, and my teammate was able to throw me a good pass, and I was able to finish.
And what's this journey been like for you this season, obviously transferring in from Donda Academy, coming in a little bit late? Like, how have you kind of found your footing? How are you getting more comfortable inside this Cardinal Hayes program?
I mean, I got a lot of special teammates around me. They encourage me in practice every day, encourage me to keep going. These coaches, Coach Tim, Coach Lowe's, they always push me to get better and just implement the small things like running the floor hard, trying to get every rebound, boxing out, and it's just that has made me adjust to this New York basketball.
Yeah, and what do you think your biggest improvement this season has been? I mean, just watching you today, I feel like even if you're not scoring a ton, you're kind of controlling the game on both ends.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to hustle for every possession, just try to hustle, keep that dog, keep fighting, because, I mean, earlier in the season we haven't went off to a great start, but we just have to keep fighting, and things are just going to get better, and that's what we have to go by.
And you guys have some big-time games coming up, including Hoop Hall this weekend. I mean, how excited are you for that trip?
I mean, definitely excited. I'm about to play a top team. just go out there and compete and give our best. There's nothing else we can do.
All right, last thing for you. Who's the better dunker, you or Ian Jackson?
I mean, I got kind of simple dunks, a couple dunks in me, but Ian definitely he got a lot of good moves, a lot of good dunks. He better. All
right, by the end of the season, I want to hear you say yourself on that.
All right,
I want to see the confidence. But Steve Solano, monster game, key piece defensively, offensively for Cardinal Hayes. Thank you so much, man. Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate it.
All right, so that'll do it for our Varsity Media Sportscast. Steve Solano, Ian Jackson, heading out of New York with a win. Credit to our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Chris Sweeney. I'm Gavin Shaw. Matt McCower Brown on camera. Thank you for watching on the Varsity Media Sports Network.